What's happening, my beautiful people? My name is Mike LaBelle. Welcome back to the YouTube channel. You see the title. We are going to talk about something that looks broken. I'm using the B word. If you want more breakdowns, analyzing, discussion, opinionated, very biased, like the video. We're already revving up for FIFA 22, and I think this needs to be said. This is one of the better trailers that we have seen over the last few years. Is it just me? You're welcome to disagree. We have the comment section because I want your feelings and your first impressions around what's happening. Because I come out, I put together an opinion piece. Some of you agree, some of you disagree, but at the end of the day, we don't know until the game actually drops. I'm gonna review this video and I wanna see if you called it, if you predicted it. So use the comment section. Even on a side note, I feel as if FIFA 21 in the life cycle went pretty deep this year, at least from a content perspective. I'm not saying the gameplay was perfect. That is not a quote. Do not put that on a shirt. I hope all of you are doing well. You're staying safe, and I'm sending blessings your way. Without further ado, let me give you what you came for. Right off the ripperoo, explosive sprint. We're gonna talk about skill moves in general because EA has came out officially and made some shifts, some announcements, and I wanna make sure that I provide my expertise as someone who has been invested in the FIFA community, played at the pro level for many, many years. I know what I'm talking about. I can read through the lines or between the lines. That novel that you're pitchforking, I got it covered. I can interpret in ways that others don't always interpret. And I'm not clickbaiting the video. We're talking about explosive sprint. In theory, I like the idea. The reality, this is gonna be overpowered, without a doubt. It's a new addition, and that means that EA put some of that extra sauce into the barbecue, layered it up, fillet of the fish. I hate when people order that from McDonald's. It's confusing. You don't go to McDonald's and order fish. Will the bridge be done? I don't know. I'm not sure that it matters though when you have this explosive sprint, which in theory, if you are a traditionalist, this is the most common way that players take on other players. Offense versus defense. Just shoot around them. Just try to outpace them, outrun them. This mechanic changes the dynamic of a one-on-one situation, allowing dribblers to explode forward and leave the markers behind, or empowering defenders to catch up to breakaway attackers. We'll see about all of that. I am envisioning Mbappe exploding past defenders. That's all I'm gonna say. I got that type of foresight. They call me the owl. Let's watch the footage without the explosive sprint. Smoke show. The player that's just chasing back, cutting you down. Not an issue. You don't have a chance. However, once we see that refresh, watch how you take off. But more importantly here with the explosive sprint, not only is the pace and how it runs out of stamina or gas, which is normal, you're just holding down the sprint button. If you've watched or you've played a lot of FIFA, you don't just hold the sprint command. That is a beginner move. That is a noob stain. That is something that all the top level players, elite level gold, they pick their moments. And this is gonna be the same. You're gonna pick your moment to use this explosive sprint. There's no way that I can't find this being extremely effective. It has to be. What are your thoughts? We're gonna continue the theme. We have dribbling, and a new fundamental is the super knock-on. And the standard knock-on, I wouldn't say is a tier 1 intangible or even a skill move, however you want to categorize it, but it is something that you utilize, you know how to use it. It plays a factor at all levels, beginner, intermediate, advanced. This super knock-on, I don't think I'm buying into it. Even though it's a new feature, you gotta have so much space to work with. Let's look at the example. There's the super knock-on, and then you're gonna beat that defender for pace. Maybe in a late game scenario, but look at the pitch here. There's no one else that's gonna be credible. There's no chase back. Where's the double team? I just don't feel you're going to have enough space to implement this with any level of efficiency or success rate. Maybe if you can keep the knock-on just down the wings. Otherwise, there's just too large of a margin for error. But I thought we should talk about it. We can open up the boardroom. Mediocre Cloud FC. Skill moves. Let's take a deeper dive. Remember, the key is always balance in FIFA. Does not matter the category or subcategory. When we're dealing with gameplay specifically, it's always going to date back or track back or reiterate the word balance. If it's too much one way or the other, we're gonna have a lot of complaints. And as players, we're critical. That's the reality. And if you're watching this video, you're likely to be part of the minority, not the majority, where you want bigger skill gaps. You want the intimacy, the intricacy, the details, the particulars. Skill moves, balancing. taking words out of my mouth. The main goal is to balance skill moves to make them effective if timed and executed correctly. After listening to feedback from the community pros, we made the following balancing changes. Let's see if we agree or disagree. Remove skill move cancellations for the La Croqueta, Elastico, Reverse Elastico, and Scoop Turn. Fair enough. Cancellations, I did a poll on this. I think it was 70% or so said they didn't like them. To be fair, the only argument that I would make on behalf of skill move cancellation is the difficulty, which added some sort of skill separation. But they're just so unrealistic the way that you're throwing out skills, knowing you're going to cancel and then go into another combination. Reduced animation speed for the bridge and directional nutmegs. I would believe that when I see it, and we just talked about this explosive dribble, which just might replace what was happening with the directional nutmegs, at least to a certain degree. Drag back spin, 4-touch turn, step overs can now be canceled. I don't think that's the way. If you either remove the cancellations or you keep them in the game. I think it's an all or nothing. I understand having hesitancy there, but I don't know if you can pick and choose. I'd love to run a poll on that. When I think of skill move cancellations, there are very few skills that would actually allow you to stop mid-turn and it have some level of realism. Drag to drag skill moves can now be triggered by holding RS backwards. Wait till I get on the sticks. The heel to heel skill move is more difficult to successfully perform. I'm not sure why we had a reduction there. I like the heel to heel personally. I understand people started using it against the goalkeepers or in the box, but that's how it works. And the new animations for directional nutmeg 90-degree turns. Only a weekend league will truly inform you as to where we're at in terms of separation, the good, the bad, and the ugly. This next section, I like this. First time skill moves. One important change, we want to highlight our first time skill moves, which is something we received a lot of feedback on. So this is where you receive a pass and go directly into a skill. I like this because if you have absolute skill, you have the vision, you got that premium quality, you can master this and utilize it in ways that will give you some clever gameplay. Unpredictable. With this improvement, skill moves can now be executed in first time situations as the ball's coming towards the player. In the past, it's only possible with fake shots, but now skill moves with the right stick are possible as well. This is a thumbs up from me, but I'm also a skill moves guru. I'm invested. Certain skills cannot be confirmed first time. Step overs, body feints, bridge, directional nutmeg. Could you imagine adding a nutmeg or a bridge dribble into the first time? That could be a problem. The way you could just scoot around the opposition. We already see it with the stop and pop. Skill moves in first time situations will be harder to control while dribbling, especially if the incoming ball velocity is high. No kidding. What does this look like, you asked? And we're gonna see the roulette here. That's pretty clean connection, that animation. But going backwards with that roulette also doesn't benefit you in any way, shape, or form unless you just want extra flair in the game. But it looks clean. It looked responsive. Next up. Ugh. That's a little bit better because you're at least shielding. That's a sloppy heel to heel. Just going to tell you what it is, how I see it. Being able to do a drag back first time is very interesting for slight changes of direction. I can see this being implemented in ways that you have new forms of expression, and if you have that creative mindset, if you're inventive, if you can orchestrate, this will be a bang bang. New skill moves, and I could take something from the trailer. Maybe I'll make a separate video. I'd rather have a full-on experience with these skills. 4-touch turn, skilled bridge. We don't need any more bridge dribbles. I'm just gonna call it how I see it. It got to a point in FIFA 21 where I felt as if my opponents, even at high levels, were not using skills or setting them up. It reminded me of FIFA 19 with the La Croqueta, where they got to a certain position and they just decided they're gonna bridge. It doesn't matter what I did or what I do, they're gonna bridge dribble, they're gonna spam it. And that was almost 2 to 3 months where everything was just about the bridge. I need reactions. I like the clever setups, the build, and the storytelling and the narrative to skill move sessions. To close out the video, let's take one more glance at this explosive dribble, because this is what's gonna be new, and I feel as if this is what we're gonna witness. And remember, this is head-to-head. It is gonna be faster in Ultimate Team. Mbappe just takes off, defender's done, back to the net, count it, that's a celebration. You can't tell me that this is not going to be at the highest level of usage and effectiveness. Thanks again for watching. Let me know in the comments, and please like the video, share it with your friends. I want to put out a lot more content, really taking that deeper dive and the depth or the in-between breakdowns and collective of a little more analysis as opposed to just rushing out content around FIFA 22. I wanted to have more of an opinion piece, what I think is going to happen, what I believe is going to be worth learning, and the direction that the game is going in, because this is our first glimpse, our actual first next-gen feature of FIFA in any level of commitment or franchising, you name it. Because FIFA 21, we all played on the PS4 or the standard Xbox versions. The competitive scene was the same, and people, frankly, couldn't get their hands on a new console. Let's call a spade, or a heart a heart. The timing of the new console release and then the new title, it didn't coincide well, and it wasn't ready, and we didn't get a next-gen build-out. This will be our first look. These are the facts. But I have a lot more content coming out ASAP. Shake my hand.